Hello guys, welcome to my webinar, which is called Russian Webinar. I'm Anastasia and I'm so excited to see you all here. Thank you so much and sorry for a little delay. We were just making sure that you will have the best sound and the best picture. By the way, please tell me if you do. Can you hear me and see me clearly? Because today we're going to learn all you wanted to know about Russian manicure. Let me know where you're from if you haven't yet. I see people from India, from California, Nevada, Amsterdam, Spain, Finland. Hello from Gold Coast, Australia, Trinidad. Awesome. Chile, Arkansas, USA, Ontario, Australia. Awesome, guys. That's so exciting, and I'm excited as well, as you can probably tell. I will be working today with a presentation, so you will have a better understanding of the topic. Also, I will be doing some hands-on, so let's run real quick through the topics we're about to learn today. If you will get inspired by some of the things that I will explain today or show you or demo, and you would like to share them, please do not forget to tag me or nailsproacademy and use special webinars hashtag, which is hashtag dry webinar. So it will be just easier for us to find it, and then we can like you and maybe give some comments. Let's get to know each other, because I noticed that some of you are here for the first time. Let's get acquainted. I'm Anastasia Milton. I have 16 years of experience, 14 as an educator. I'm an award-winning nail technician. I did cover for Nails magazine, and also I had over 200,000 students. And it's possible only when I started teaching people online, because I started as an educator in regular school. I was teaching people live, and then when we started doing this online, we all had concerns. I had concerns, and people were, also a bit like had some doubts if it's actually possible. Can you learn something through the internet? But with the latest things happening in the world in the couple of last years, you probably know that now almost everything is online. And I personally think that is great, because I just know that some of you are from the furthest parts of the world, and in some places there's just not enough schools or places when you can share this information, when you can even interact with people. Like I noticed that in this chat you guys are always chatting with each other, and it's so cool, right? We already have 300 people online. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. This is my latest certificate that I got, Nail Art Video Awards, for my show called Nail Co on YouTube. And this was the award for 2020 for the last year. Like I got in top 10 nail art video bloggers. For those who are here for the first time, here are simple rules. They're like super easy. Please turn off your distractions. Even though we're going to have some fun, and like some of you are probably watching this from home, some of you from work. I mean, it's totally okay to relax and have a drink. But if you will be really focused, I promise you will learn much more. And we also have a cool exercise today that you all can try. Be active, ask questions, interact with each other. You will learn much more, trust me. And please, no spam or advertising. What are we going to learn today? We are going to figure out where is the cuticle. I decided to include this topic last week because I kept receiving so many different questions on my DMs on Instagram, here on YouTube, and I realized that I definitely should add it. Why dry manicure, Russian manicure, which is the same thing, is considered dangerous? Should we trim the cuticles? And if we should, do we have to do it for each client, or can we avoid it? Which beads are suitable for dry manicure? I believe this is a very demanded topic. And also I will talk about our new updated e-file manicure online class and show a dry manicure and gel overlay demo. I have one nail without any kind of care or dry manicure or overlay, and I'm going to use it for the demo. Hello from the UK. Love your videos. Thank you. Look amazing. Love your hair. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I decided to try something different today because, you know, I just thought this classical waves, they're kind of boring. So I thought something half braids, half beach waves will be kind of cool. All right, so let's get right to the topic and talk about the serious question. Where is the cuticle? Because there's so much confusion now, which I understand why, because different sources give slightly different information. And when I attended my first school 16 years ago, I was also a little bit confused, and honestly, I still kind of am about some specific terms. So before we talk about the cuticle and where is it, let's talk about a little bit about another terms, just to be sure that we're on the same page, because I know that we have some beginners, some nail enthusiasts, some people who are just not familiar with the nail industry yet. That's why let's quickly run through the basics. Proximal nail fold. This is a flap of skin which goes all the way from the part where the nail plate ends, well, kind of from the area that we call cuticle, and all the way to the first fold, okay? Proximal nail fold. Then we have matrix, which is the root of the nail. This is where the nail cells are produced, and lunula, or also known as moon or half moon, is a visible part of the matrix. Some people have it, some people have it visible. Some people do not really have these moons. Most of the time you have it on your thumbs, and if you are right-handed, then usually you will have a slightly bigger moon on your right hand, but not necessarily. And then we have the free edge, which is white part of the nail, and it's not connected to the nail bed, which means you can file it, you can trim it, and it's not going to hurt because free edge is already not connected to the nail bed. And if we will take a look a little bit inside the nail, then we also see the nail plate, which is what we refer to as nail itself. And then we have a nail bed, which is underneath the nail. And, well, then we have a bone. Guys, if you're experiencing any kind of troubles with the stream, just refresh the page and I'm supposed to be back. All right, so here's the picture, and I would like to ask you first, where is the cuticle? Let me know where is it located on this picture, because I just really want to know how much confusion is there now. Are you guys familiar with the terms? Or maybe you've been taught differently like I was. Just let me know, what do you usually refer when you talk with your clients or when you explain something, let's say to your colleague or your friends. Like, where do you see the cuticle? I learned so much from you. Thank you, Rosa, so much. Okay, the white stuff on the nail plate. On nail, white parts. On the nail plate, the cuticle is the dead skin. The white chalky stuff of the nail plate in the eponychium. On the nail plate, dry skin on the nail. The curved skin around the nail. There is some dead skin on the nail plate, glued to the nail plate, the white stuff of the nail plate. Well, guys, not bad, seriously. I'm impressed. So, yes, this white part, like right here, that many of you just referred to, is cuticle. And this part right here that we usually call cuticle, including myself, I will explain later why. The right name for it currently is eponychium. So when I attended my first nail school, I was taught that cuticle and eponychium is the same. Cuticle is more like, you know, freestyle word, and eponychium is more like professional term. Then later, as I was reading different kind of nail books and taking more and more classes, I get confused even more because they were teaching this differently. Some people explain that cuticle is this where you see the arrow that shows the aponicum, while the aponicum is something that's even further, which actually is the proximal nail fold. Oh wow, thanks, Sidil. You even sent me the print screen of where the cuticle is. Correct. Good job. So the thing is, you probably understand that even though it seems like everything in our body is already known and discovered, it's actually not. Well, like, just take the brain or even the nail. Some things are still under discovery, so that's how I explain it to myself, because 15 years ago, you could never find such clear information. That's why aponicum is right here and the cuticle is right here. Let's see a couple more pictures so you will have an even better understanding. So this nail is not very tidy, but that's not important because we need to see where's the cuticle and where's the aponicum. What about this nail? Well, it's the same. The white tissue that's spreading across the nail plate, that's very sticky, and it's adhered to it, is called cuticle. And aponicum is that part on the top. You know what else got me a little bit confused? I clearly remember the article. Unfortunately, I do not remember the author that I read, where they explained that actually cuticle has layers, just like skin. So whenever the cuticle grows, some part of it is spreading across the nail plate, and some parts are just making a U-turn and go up all the way to the aponicum. So I believe that for quite a while. So like I said, with the latest information, this is aponicum and this is cuticle right now for today. I don't know, maybe after 5 years there will be more research and we will have slightly different understanding and terms. That's why it's so important to keep learning, reading, and analyzing information. One more. Sometimes it's not that obvious. On the previous pictures, I showed you pretty obvious examples, right? When we can see the cuticle right away. But sometimes it's like that. So what about this one? Where is the cuticle here? Well, it's right there. You just can barely see it. Sometimes it's not really whitish. Sometimes it's just clear and it seems like it's not there. But once you start pushing it back with a pusher or with the orange wood stick, it is actually there. And then we have an aponicum. Deborah saying some use the term pterygium, which is incorrect. This is an abnormal nail condition. Thank you so much for this comment, because yes, I didn't mention it because I believe this term is not that popular among English-speaking audience, I believe. But in Russia, yes, this term is still used in nail schools, in nail courses, and many people, including nail educators, still refer to pterygium as what is actually the cuticle. So please do not get confused. The best nail channel ever, thank you. What people call cuticle is in fact called hyponicum. Yeah, that's aponicum. Okay, so there's still some terms that make us a little confused. Let's say nail bed and nail plate. And I just want you to explain why some people may use them differently, including myself. Sometimes I may explain some nail art to you, like I decided to use blue color to apply it on the nail bed, and then I take clear and create the free edge. So technically, I do not really apply blue on the nail bed, because remember from the previous slide, the nail bed is actually underneath the nail plate, and we cannot really apply anything on it, right? Because that will be super painful, because we would need to take off the nail first. But what I mean by saying that is this is nail bed area, right? Which is the pink part of the nail, and then we have the nail, the free edge, which is the white part of the nail. Okay, so technically it's also incorrect to say that we apply something on the nail bed, because actually we apply it on the nail plate. Also, we have nail UV and LED lamps. with 9 watts, 18 watts, 36 watts, and so on. And also, if we actually take a look on how the wattage and the power is considered, it's not going to subtract. So if we have one bulb, which is 9 watts, and then we take another one, which is also 9, you will still have the power that it's actually 9 watts. But why will the product cure faster in the lamp with the 2 bulbs? Simply because there's more space is covered, right? There's the light going from the different directions, from the top, from one side, from the other, and that's why it happens faster. But it's not actually that that there's more power. I hope it makes sense. But still, everybody decided that we are going to call lamps with 2 bulbs, 18 watts, 36 with 4 bulbs, 8 watts, and so on. And eponychium and cuticle. So in my tutorials, I use this term as well. Sometimes I just may simply say, let's take an orange wood stick and push back the cuticles. Technically, we are pushing back cuticles and eponychium together, right? But, you know, just to make it shorter and simpler to understand, I just say push back the cuticles. All right, so what I'm saying is that the language that we use in social media and in the classroom is slightly different. I'm not saying that we're supposed to use incorrect terms, of course not, but it's just when we, you know, like if you're explaining something for a beginner, you always try to use a very simple words, right? To explain it using a do not use too many professional terms because it will be overwhelming and confusing. Shiva's asking, is the eponychium the same as the proximal nail fold? Well, eponychium is the part of the proximal nail fold because proximal nail fold is what we have here all together. It's this big part. All right, now let's go to another serious topic. Should we trim the cuticles? So if you ask a question like this, should we trim the cuticles? Right, we already know what a cuticle is, the part that spreads across the nail plate. Then yes, this part should be removed, whether with the e-file, with a regular file, or just pushed back, because if you do not remove it, any kind of overlay, even the regular nail polish, will not adhere to it very well, and it's going to lift or chimp over time. So we definitely need to do it if you are going to do any kind of color application. Gel, polygel, acrylic, hard gel extensions, and even a regular nail polish. Some clients may want to have just a regular manicure without any color on top. In that case, we can avoid it. Okay, but what about trimming the eponychium? This question is really hard, I would say, because let's say it really depends on your goals and even in the country where you live. Let's talk about Russia. If you live in Russia and you want to work in the nail salon, if you want to get hired and you do not feel like trimming this part of the skin, then you will simply never find a job, because that's what expected. That's what clients want, what they expect. And if you will just leave this part of the eponychium on their nails, they will be like, girl, I don't want that. On the other side, if we just think about it, is it actually necessary? Is it essential? I would say not really. But we also need to keep in mind that it depends on the nails. With some nails, there's just almost no excess skin, and if we just gently push it back, that will be enough. But with some nail types, I think we should do this, because I have many clients with damaged, I have a couple clients with short and beaten nails, and if I do not touch their cuticles and eponychium, oh my God, I will simply not be able even to apply any kind of product, because there's just too much excess skin. It's keratinized, it's very hard, it has some wounds, it has some cuts, so the only way to fix it is to actually do the trimming. I also know that in some places, like in some states, United States, right? Some of the states, they even have the special law that require to not use tools to trim the cuticles, well, to trim the eponychium. I would say then we definitely should follow the rules. Another question is that sometimes, like in Russia, in Ukraine, and nearby countries, some nail technicians are just taking it to the extreme level. Like they're trimming them so much and so deep that it looks painful. All the skin is red and irritated, and I think that's definitely not okay, not healthy, and by doing that, we not only risk to bring some infection to our clients, but they will have even more keratinized and excess skin over time. So I believe that it's okay to trim the eponychium if you know what you're doing, if you're doing it carefully, and if you only trim the part that is actually whitish, like it's not supposed to be painful, and we're basically taking off only the part that's keeping us from applying the product, if you know what I mean. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts about it, because like I really cannot answer this question like, yes, we should trim the eponychium all the time, please do, or the opposite, no, guys, never trim the eponychium, please don't do it. I'm somewhere in between, okay? I think that we should just look at each client's nails individually and just come up with some decision. What is keratinized skin? New term for me. Nicole, keratinized skin means we usually have it on our elbows, you know, this part of the skin that's really hard, due to some friction, and it feels like harder than other parts of the skin. So it's very common to have keratinized skin on the sidewalls, especially for people who work a lot with their hands, let's say in the garden without using gloves. It's very common for men, especially who's likes playing with their car, let's say, so that's what it is. It's very common to have it on your toes. Also depends on the lifestyle, on the skin type and many other things, but I'm pretty sure you've seen something like that. It's not exactly like callus, but it's something in between, like the normal skin and the callus. Can we avoid trimming the tissue? Yes, like I just said, with some skin types, it may look not just untidy, but also create obstacles for perfect product application. I was taught to not trim the eponychium in Belgium, but when I was studying in Vietnam, they would trim it. Thank you so much, Song, because yes, that's so different in every country, even in different states, in different cities. So you always need to look at that. And like I said, I also look at this individually. If a client will come to me and say, please do not touch or trim any parts of my skin, I would definitely say, okay, like whatever you wish. But if a client will come to me and ask the opposite, I actually had one who was like, please cut everything as deep as possible, because I'm just used to this style of, it's called in Russia, deep manicure, please do it. And I already see that her skin is red and irritated, and honestly, there's nothing really to trim, maybe just a little bit on the sides. And I just honestly told her, like, I'm sorry, but I cannot do this because that's just not the technique that I work with. And like deep in my heart, I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. It's like we're intentionally doing some harm to our client. And even if she's saying, no, it's okay, I like it, like that's exactly what I'm asking. I know, I just wasn't ready to do it. All right, so sometimes this is one example of how nails and skin can look after 5 weeks after manicure and overlay. Would it be okay to not trim the aponicum with the nails like this? Yes, absolutely, right? I think you will all agree, like there is almost nothing. But some nails look a bit different after 5 weeks after they've been manicured. Oh, that's excessive keratinized tissue. That was the question. So besides the cuticle, we can see aponicum, we can see hangnails, we can see this keratinized tissue on the sidewalls. And I believe that this kind of problem, the best way to treat it is actually to trim it. And I know it not just because I decided that I like this look better, but this is the client I've been working with. If you're like following my channel, you definitely know her. Her name is Anna. And once I did that, every time she comes back to me on time, you know, after 2 to 3 weeks, her skin looks so much better. Like originally when she first came, her skin had so many cuts, so many hangnails because she was biting not only her nails but also her skin. And she even shared it with me that once I did all this, you know, I not only trimmed the tissue, but I also buffed it with, you know, special buffing bit. So I made it all smooth. So then there's like nothing to bite. Because, you know, people tend to bite hangnails because you just don't like this feeling of it, right? You kind of want to get rid of it. But if there's no hangnail, you know, nothing to hold on to, you kind of don't want to do it. So I believe in this case, it's actually very helpful. And if we do not do it and just apply the color right on this nail, I think you can imagine what it's gonna look like. Not good. Anna is a chef. Yeah, guys, that's awesome that you know her already. All right, so what is Russian manicure? Honestly, I was going to name this webinar dry manicure or electric file manicure first, but then we had a meeting with the staff and almost everyone insisted to call it Russian manicure because that's exactly how usually we receive the questions from you guys, like, how do I do Russian manicure? Do you guys teach how to do Russian manicure and so on? And since I'm Russian, I obviously know about it. And of course, we do not call it Russian manicure here. We just call it electric file manicure. So there are 3 different types of it. And all types are different variations of dry manicure. So when you hear the word Russian manicure, it's definitely going to be a dry manicure. Like, it's not the wet manicure when we use cuticle softeners, bath, and so on. So they all require using electric nail file. Now, what are these 3 different types? First one is the one that we call dry or electric file manicure or e-manicure. It includes nail prep, sidewalls prep, trimming the cuticle and the aponicum only by using electric nail file. Okay, so it's e-file only. And then we have another 2 types that are electric file manicure plus cutting tool or cutting implement that can be nippers or scissors. We push back the cuticles, the aponicum, the sidewalls with the e-file, and then we take scissors or nippers and trim the excess skin. And this is the 3rd type. And I just noticed that when people refer to Russian manicure, they refer to any of this type. So the previous one, we call it electric file manicure, and this one we call it combo manicure because it's like a combination of 2 techniques, electric file plus using a cutting implement. E-file manicure plus cutting implement. E-file is used for pushing up the cuticles, and nippers and scissors are used for trimming the cuticles and the aponicum. Which one is better? Which one should I pick? And which one is easier to learn? Well, I just created this table for you so you can compare them. So e-file only is an advanced technique, but it's really hard to use with clients who have hyperhidrosis. In case you don't know what it is, a hyperhidrosis is a state of over-excessive sweat of hands and nails, or just hands. It's those clients who have oily type of nail plate, who have, you take their hand and it feels like it's wet or something. Can we do e-file only manicure with this client? Yes, but it's going to be so hard that, I mean, I would definitely prefer just using scissors instead. Also, unfortunately, e-file only will not work for damaged or bleeding cuticles, and sometimes we have clients like that too. Because if the cuticle is already damaged, it's irritated or bleeding, it doesn't matter how advanced you are, how good you know the technique, how well you can feel the electric nail file. Once you start pressing on this cut, it's going to hurt even more. That's why for this kind of clients, it's better to use the second type, which is e-file plus scissors or nippers. This one is a little bit easier for beginners because you will trim the tissue with the implement, and I believe it's a bit easier. It's still advanced, you still need to learn it, but compared to e-file only, I think it's a little bit easier. That's, by the way, the one I'm going to show you today. The advantage of this one is it can be used for any skin and nail type, but it requires a good quality and sharp tools. Because even if you're great at working with e-file, even if you did an awesome job with the prep, and you're also good at working with nippers, but the nippers that you own are dull, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. Seriously, unfortunately. That's why it's super important to have a really good tools to do it properly. Well, it's the same actually for the e-file. You need to have a good quality bits, but cutting tool is even more important. I also tore up my cuticles with my e-file, Jennifer. Yes, that's absolutely possible. I did that a few times as well when I was learning. So even though e-file is considered a safe technique, it is when you only know how to do this. There are many different reasons why it could happen, whether you were working at a very low speed, maybe you were pressing too much, maybe the bit you were using was not correct, and we are going to talk about that in a moment. What's the third type? Well, first, e-file only, scissors, nippers, 3 types. Can you always tell if someone has hyperhidrosis only by touching her skin? Marina, yes, absolutely. Just take any dark surface, like, I don't know, if you have a black table or you know, black piece of paper with a file folder on it, or a plastic, and just put the hands right here and release. And if you will see some oily spots, some moisture here, then that's hyperhidrosis. It's pretty easy to tell. I mean, once you see like their skin is actually shining. If you're not sure, then it's probably not the hyperhidrosis. Like, you will be able to tell right away. Let's talk about the prep tools. So if you plan to do e-file only technique, you still need some prep tools, such as pusher and orange wood sticks. Now I would like to show you, I'm probably going to use the dark gloves, so you will have a dark background as well. Can you mix cuticle remover and e-file manicure, or will it damage the nail? Catalina, that's a great question. I learned this technique once and I tried it, but then I found it extremely ineffective, at least for the hands, because I know it's used sometimes for the toes, for the pedicure, but I don't do pedicure, so I don't know much about it. But as for the cuticle remover, not really, because once you use the cuticle remover, it starts to soften the skin. It's all becomes shiny, and you will not be able to see where is the cuticle, where is it spreading, where it ends, and so on. Also, once you use the cuticle remover, it becomes soft, so it's just harder to remove it. Okay, just imagine that you just had a really nice bath with bubbles. And your nails, after soaking in water, you know how they look, right? They're more flexible, more soft, a little bit wider. They just feel different. And then imagine you are going to shape them right away. You just take a regular nail file and start filing them. It just doesn't feel comfortable, right? Because they're not hard. They're not as firm as they usually are. That's kind of the same when you will try to work with the e-file and a cuticle remover. It will be extremely hard to notice if you're done or not. When working with the diamond bits, it's going to clog them really fast. And for me, I just found it ineffective because no matter how hard you try, you will still have some missing spots. And another big disadvantage for me and using cuticle remover, I'm not saying that you should not use it like at all, but with a combination of e-file, if you're going to do any kind of product application later, overlay or extensions, you need to clean it really well. Like you need to ask client to wash their hands with a soap like a couple times, apply tons of sanitizer, hand sanitizer to clean it. And if small part will still remain on the nail plate, the product is going to lift. That's why I really prefer all kinds of dry techniques. All right, let's talk about the prep tools. And I just would like to show you some. I have different kind of pushers right here. And there are just so many on the market. And like I said, even though we're talking about the e-file, you are still going to use this one because it's much easier and safer to push back most cuticles and Manicure with the tool first. Pusher as well as brush is a matter of a personal taste. But what if you're just getting started and there's no taste yet? Well, I would recommend to use any kind of spoon-shaped pushers because this shape, it's kind of imitating the shape of the cuticle, right? This shape, so it's going to be the shape of the Manicure to push it back. Like on this pusher, we have one side is spoon-shaped and another one is just more narrow. So it's going to be perfect for very thin nails. Narrow nails, sorry. So, you know, I have some clients that have such a tiny, small nails that I think it's going to be perfect for them. Some pushers are like that. In my opinion, this one is not as comfortable to use, but we still can use it. Like the other side is also different. Sometimes it's like this, so you can scrap some cuticle right from the nail plate. Sometimes there's another kind of scrapper, sometimes there's just another pusher, and so on. But also another great tool, and definitely affordable one and effective, is an orange wood stick. Because it's single use, like you do not need to worry about sanitizing it, you just use it, you throw it away, or give it to your client. It also has this one side that works as a pusher, but sometimes you may notice that they're like this wood right here, it's broken, or you know, it's too fuzzy or fluffy or whatever. You can always fix that by using a regular nail file and filing it like that. All right, so that's the tool we're going to use today. And I'm back to my presentation. My pinky is a size 11 if I use tips. Shelly, wow, that's really small one, so you will definitely benefit from a pusher like that. Allison, should you push cuticles back before removing polish? Well, it doesn't matter, really, but I usually first remove the polish because, I mean, once you push back the cuticles, you probably notice that this area becomes a little bit sensitive. And if you use acetone, well, obviously that's what you use to take off the nail polish, it may feel a little bit sensitive depending on the client. So usually I would say it's just easier to remove nail polish first, but if you forgot, let's say accidentally, and you already pushed them back, no stress, just push them back first and remove the nail polish next. Let's talk about drill bits. drill bits can be made of different kind of material. We have carbide, we have ceramic, we have stone, we have diamond, we have sand bands with a mandrel, we have buffing beads, silicone beads, chamois beads. I specifically learned how to pronounce this word for this webinar. So which ones will work for dry manicure? Of course, diamond beads are the most popular beads to work with the dry manicure. This picture is just an example of how diamond beads look like, okay? Guys, seriously, that's very important. I'm not saying that all these types that you can see on this picture right now are okay for dry manicure. Absolutely not, okay? This is just the material which is okay to use for a dry manicure. We will talk about which beads specifically later. Diamond beads, they're all different. And there are some diamond beads that are not of a very good quality. Usually, if you will take a look at the sand, you know, at the grain they're made of, like right here. Well, yeah, this is the printed picture, so maybe you cannot really see it here. But if you see that these particles, the diamond particles, they are pretty even. You know, they look pretty much similar, then it may be a good quality. But sometimes, even without using any kind of magnifying glass, you know, just by looking with your naked eye, you can literally see something like this. Like these particles, these grains, they're so different. Once you see that, please do not use this kind of diamond beads. Unfortunately, I've seen this a lot. Once you turn, let me give you an actual example. Okay, so this is the diamond bead. I just sterilize it, that's why it's in this one. So if I start rotating it, so this is a good quality bead. See, we can see that all particles are pretty much even. Well, I mean, to see it actually, you probably need like a extremely good magnifying HD. You may not be able to see it during the live stream because, right, the quality of the video is still limited. But in the real life, just take a closer look, or you can use a magnifying glass if you want. And you will immediately see, once the bead is not very good quality, you can just see that this particle is like this one like this. When it's like that, what's going to happen? Once you apply pressure on the skin, on the nail, these parts are just going to scratch the surface. While right here we have nothing. Okay, but once the surface is even, the entire surface is going to work, and whether remove the cuticles or push them back or whatever we are intending to do. Then we have stone beads. These beads are also very good for Russian manicure. But one of disadvantages is they're pretty hard to find. There's not that much of a variety of the shapes and sizes. It's pretty limited. And also, unlike diamond and any kind of metallic beads, these ones are made of stone, which is porous. So in order to properly sterilize it, you need to own whether a dry heat sterilizer or an autoclave. So if you do not own it, I may suggest you to not use it, or maybe if you are like using it only for yourself, then it's okay. Okay. Whoops. Then we have sand beads and mandrel. Well, we can use them for e-file manicure, but in my opinion, it's very rare where you really need them. I'm using this kind for men's manicure because men have a thicker skin, and usually it's very helpful, but most of the times you don't really need it because it's still very coarse for our skin, and especially nail plate. And also there's not that much a variety of shapes. Usually it's just this drum shape is the one that you can find, or sometimes it's not just the drum, there's also the rounded part on the top. Then we have buffing bits. Well, these bits are also really good for the manicure. I call it buffing the cuticle. When you already have finished your manicure and the skin looks already pretty nice, but you want this part to be even smoother, to be all nice and clean, then you can use the buffing bit. I believe, yeah, I have it here, to buff the cuticle. So the material they're made of, I believe it's kind of the same as stone, but it's very, very soft. It's almost impossible to overfile nail with it. Well, I mean, you still can, okay? There's nothing impossible like that. You can overfile it with a diamond bit as well. But it's very, very soft. So it's just great for working on a thin, on sensitive skin, because it's not as coarse as even stone bits. But once again, those are not the easiest ones to find, and also there's not that much variety of shapes. Pretty much is whether the triangle one or the rounded one on the top. Then we have chamois, and this kind is mostly for natural nail care when you are not going to do any kind of overlay. Some clients just want natural nails. So you may use cuticle oil, or there are special buffing creams, like there's one by Hand and Nail Harmony, there's one by Peach Shine, by Super Nail. You take this special kind of treatment, this buffing cream, apply it on the nail, then you use this chamois buffer, and the nails have this super shine, but they also have some parts of this, you know, it's something like wax, and it's sealed in the top layers of the nail that kind of keeps them whole. That's kind of cool, but it's not working for the any kind of enhancement if you're going to do if you're doing an enhancement, overlay, or extensions, because once you do that, it's the same as if you have nails buffed to a high shine. There's no adhesion, okay? Adhesion and the shine, they're never going to be friends. So this also is not the most popular type to use. And then we have an Oni Clean, also called Safe Bit or Safety Bit. Also kind of hard to find, but I actually found some even on Amazon. You can just simply search it. And I believe Rat Iguana have one. So this kind of bit, if you will take a close look at this, you will see that it doesn't really have any kind of abrasive on it. It doesn't have any particles, any sand or flutes. It's just like a solid surface. It's usually made of medical steel, and it's great for super sensitive clients, for damaged cuticles. I use this one a lot with my client Anna, who has short beaten nails. So this is the one you may also need. So which ones will work for dry manicure? That's the summary. We just went through each of them. So we can use diamond, stone, sand beads, buffing beads. We can use Oni Clean or Safety Bit, which is made of medical steel. We can use silicone beads and chamois beads. Well, the most popular and the ones that we use most of the time is definitely diamond, because it's just easier to find it on the market. There's so many variety of shapes and abrasive marks, and that's why we use it more often than any other kind. So what about abrasive marks? If you will take a look at the bits, sometimes they have an abrasive mark that is like that. Sometimes it's a plastic part on the bottom, but it refers to the abrasive, which is kind of the same that we have on files, right? We have 100 grit files and we have 180 grit file. Which one is softer? 180, and 100 is more coarse compared to this one. And the same principle works with the bits, but we do not have numbers, we have just colors. So we have white, which is the softest, but pretty much you're not going to find it, so don't worry. Then we have yellow, which is super fine. Then we have red, which is medium fine or fine. Then we have blue, which is medium coarse, black, which is coarse, and double black is extra coarse. All these terms and words, they are all approximate, okay? Because what is super fine? what is fine. It's just, what you need to understand is that if you take blue drill bit from one manufacturer and red bit from the same manufacturer, then red is going to be softer. Okay, then blue is more coarse than red, definitely. But there's no like international standard. It doesn't mean that every single blue abrasive marked bit in the entire world will have exact the same particles. No, sometimes it may feel more coarse, sometimes it may feel softer. So which abrasive marks are okay for dry manicure? Yellow bits. These are very rare to find, so pretty much you cannot really find much shapes of them, but you can use them because it's soft. Red abrasive mark is the most common, the most popular, and the ones I use a lot for Russian manicure, so definitely look for this one. And then we have blue. Well, blue, in my opinion, should not be used too much. Use with caution, because blue is more coarse and, in my opinion, is suitable only for clients with really hard keratinized skin. It's good for men's manicure, and that's it. Because for most people, it will still be too coarse and it's super easy to overfile to damage it. If we go further, let's say black abrasive mark, then we have green, right? Then we have black abrasive mark. No, please do not use it. Like I found this picture, I believe, on Amazon of flame bit with a green abrasive mark, and the picture like they're intending to push back the aponicum. Please don't use it. Green is definitely too coarse for it. The only exception may be sometimes only for keratinized sidewalls, but only if they're like extremely keratinized, and also that's very rare. So pretty much you will not even need that. I would also like to give you a personal recommendation of what not to use. Please avoid using this. This is the set of diamond beads that usually come in this kind of box. I believe it's made in China, but I've seen them so much. I've seen some students taking it to their class. I've seen them, sometimes they come as the part of the e-file. I mean, they're included in the kit where you have an electric nail file and this kit. They're not a good quality, so I strongly recommend to not use them. And this kit also is not suitable for dry manicure. Like this one is probably the most popular kit ever that comes together with the electric nail file. And you know what's funny? I review electric files a lot, and I see it a lot. Electric nail file is okay, it's good, it's powerful, it's okay to use. But then I see this kit that I just, basically throw away. Well, I actually leave the sand bands. Sometimes I may use them for some things in art. But I mean, even from this picture, which is actually a bit grainy and not super high quality, but I can already see that these particles, they're not as even as they should be. So please do not use this one as well. All right, looks like it is time to have some fun. And as I will be taking a couple of your questions, I would like to ask you guys to grab a shower gel. Any shower gel will work, any flavor, because we're going to do one cool exercise. What about ceramic beads? Ceramic beads are great for product removal. But as today our topic is dry manicure, which we refer to working on the skin and natural nail plate, then no, ceramic bead is too coarse for it. I saw you use the only for diabetics from your previous video. Yes, Deborah, thank you. Actually, well, I do not have experience with diabetic clients, but that's exactly what this bead was designed for originally. So yes, it definitely works. When do you use double black? Marina, well, you can use it sometimes for product removal, but not with a diamond, with a carbide bead of acrylic nails if they're like extremely thick. But the most common use for it is for pedicure. I do not recommend using it for nails. All right, let's do the shower exercise. For this exercise, you are going to need shower gel, or shampoo will work, by the way. Shampoo will work as well. And then you can use, there are different options. You may use whether an orange wood stick, or you can also use your favorite pusher. So it's up to you, okay? All right, then you can turn it whatever side that you like. I decided to start with the tiger, with this red. Well, this is the shampoo. Well, no, this is a bath, bubble bath for the kids. I just picked one because, you know, it has bright colors. I thought it's gonna look great in the camera and you guys can see everything clearly. Something you didn't expect, right? In the Russian Manicure webinar, we're about to play with the shower gel. Yes, thanks for that zoom. That looks even better. Now let me show you what is going to happen if we take orange wood stick or pusher and just start pushing like this. Oh my God, I think you even heard this sound. So you see what's happening? Well, obviously it's not going to happen the same way with the cuticles, but these dots that you can see on this paper means we already hurt our client so many times. So do not ever do it like that, okay? That was incorrect. Now, how you're supposed to do it? You need to hold it like this. Well, you can, let's imagine, okay, this is the cuticle, like from the top. With the side of the pusher or an orange wood stick, little by little, okay, do not like apply extreme pressure. We carefully start to separate it. You see, I'm already down there. And then I'm going in one direction. And your goal is to create an even line right here. Actually, if you oh yeah, like on this one, sometimes you may use this text as a guideline. So let's see. You see, I go all the way to the text, okay? And then my goal is to make this line on the same level. Now take a look on how I'm pushing it back. With the side, little by little, do not do any extreme moves. And you see, this is how we have this beautiful straight line. Now, when doing this exercise, if you see the edge of your shower gel, okay, like. Okay, your goal is to have an even line. So whatever the sticker that you separated will have to repeat the shape of the sticker. Well, sometimes it's just even line. If it's like this, it's not correct, even though it looks like a cuticle shape. But no, your goal is to learn how to do it straight. Now, this is the first part of the exercise. So once you feel comfortable, okay, let's go with the tigers again because I think it's just more fun. Okay, once you feel comfortable, you can hold it either way, okay? It's just an exercise. Once you feel, whoops, you see, so sometimes you go deeper, ouch, we hit our client. You need to understand it and just keep practicing. So some stickers are easier to separate, some of them are harder, but the goal is just this exercise is a great one to work on the even pressure. So once you do this, you need to work in the opposite direction. So you basically do the same. So we went all the way right here. And then you do it in the opposite direction. And then, you know, kids or I know your parents, you know, depending, be like, hey, where did all the stickers from the shower gel went? Uh-oh, you see, I was rushing. And now this line is not super even, so I carefully try to fix it. Okay, now let me show you, well, I don't know if you can see how this line is folded, but I believe it's pretty straight. Well, you see right here where I started again. So this one is a bit too deep. Now, if you are doing this, you see, this is already incorrect, because this paper is folded Once you do that, it's going to hurt the client. And if you are lucky to have a client with a very sensitive cuticles, it may even bleed or just hurt, okay? So you see it's already kind of damaged. So very important part is also to start, right? Once you start it, it's kind of easy to get the line going. So to start, you need to slightly go a little further, but not press too much, and then just move in one direction. So you see, I push it up, but the paper, the sticker is all nice and even, while here, it's kind of broken already. It's not good. So clever, definitely good way to practice. Thanks, Catherine. So if you guys are willing to try that, please send me your tryouts. You can do it here in the chat. You can tag me later and post it on Instagram if you feel like it. Well, on YouTube, there is no such feature. That's why you may want to log into nailsproacademy.com and do it right here. So I think, yeah, it is a great exercise, and this is just one example of what I try to implement in my online classes. Because if we start practicing on hands right away, that's nice, but we're still going to do so many mistakes. That's why I believe if you can practice on something else, non-living, let's say shower gel or shampoo this time, it's going to be just so much easier and safe, and you will already know how your orange wood stick should move, or a pusher. Then you will do the same on yourself or on somebody else, and it is going to feel different. Absolutely, our skin is not like shampoo sticker, but you will have a little bit more confidence because you already know how this tool works, how it moves, and you will feel so much better. I hope that, guys, was really helpful. I've been using it wrong. Yeah, that's awesome, guys. If you really understand that you've been doing something incorrect until then, well, just, I don't know, keep it in mind, remember it, and from now on, try using it differently. That's like, this is a genius exercise. Sure, guys, you're welcome. And please, yeah, please tag me. I would love to see all of your tryouts. And let's continue. Yeah, well, I already see that you definitely enjoyed this exercise. This is how I remove stickers on birthday presents. As long as I can remember, I've been practicing for this manicure. Oh, okay, Diane, maybe that's the secret why you already know how to do it. Well, if you happen to have this practice, I'm pretty sure you never had troubles pushing the cuticles. My orange wood sticks are not that nice and flat shape. Felicia, if they're not as nice as mine, you can make them nice within a couple seconds. Just use a soft 180 grit file, take an angle about this, and just file it. And they're going to be nice and new. All right, so now I'm going to briefly talk about the online classes that we have, because I can already see that we have some questions about them. And then we're going to do a demo on myself. So once again, we talked about Russian manicure, but how it actually looks like. This is one of the examples of before and after, and this is the student's work. And I would say for this type of skin, dry manicure makes sense, right? So for this type of skin, e-file manicure is just perfect, because e-file works great when the skin is like super dry. I will tell you more, the drier, the better. Seriously, it's just super easy to clean the sidewalls, to clean the skin. Then we have another example. This is men's manicure. And we can see before and we can see after. We can see some hangnails, we see uneven shape and length of the nails, we can see some eponychium on the first picture, and then we have the second one where it all looks so much better. And I believe she even worked with the e-file on the callus, which is higher on the finger. Well, it's still there, but it doesn't look as bad. And these are not my works, okay? These are works by the students who did it on our online class. how long can use one diamond beads. And it really depends on what you're working on. Usually one diamond bead, let's say flame bead, is good for 10 to 15 services, and then you need to replace it. Another example, here we have before and then we have after. Well, in my opinion, this is like the perfect example of after, because you see the skin still looks healthy, it still looks nice, it just looks more clean, right? And when you have prepped the nail plate like that, it will be so easy for you to apply the color. That's why when people ask me, Anastasia, how do you apply color so close to the cuticle? How do you not flood it? What's the secret? The secret is clean, dry manicure. Because it doesn't matter how good you are at applying color or what gel polish you use, which brush do you use. If you didn't clean the sidewalls, the cuticles, the aponicum well enough, the color is still going to be there. You said that most nail drill kits come with the sanding beads and metal beads, and those aren't good to use on the cuticle, but why not? Well, the diamond beads in that particular kits are just not, the quality is not good. And sanding beads, well, you can use sanding beads. I mean, just in my opinion, sanding beads, even if you use them at a low speed, they're still going to file too much from the nail plate. So if you want to prep the nail plate, let's say take off the surface shine, it is better to do it manually with a hand file. But if you're using for something else, shaping or creating this pastel colors with colored chalks, I mean, definitely. Okay, so we have online course which is called Electric File Manicure, which is the same as dry manicure, and then we have a class that we launched last year, eFile 101. The difference between them is that the first one is fully dedicated to how to work with the skin, how to do manicure, and eFile 101 is working with eFile in general. Product removal, acrylic and gel fills, we talk a lot about ceramic and carbide beads. So if you're just getting started with eFile and have no idea what it is, eFile 101 is definitely easier one to start with, and then you may proceed to Electric File Manicure. So Electric File Manicure includes natural nail anatomy, disinfection, sterilization, different skin types and how to work with them, men's manicure, manicure on damaged nails, regular thin skin, and so on. While eFile 101 is more like a basic one dedicated to eFile. We're talking about how to pick eFile, all you need to know about rotation speed, how to remove product on yourself and on your clients, simple fill, advanced fill, how to take care of your nail drill bits, and basic nail prep for extensions. So we will have two packages. I will explain what includes which bonuses you can get on this webinar later, at the end of the webinar before the giveaway. But I just wanted to show it to you right now already, so you will just have an idea of what we have to offer today. So we will have two packages. First one is professional package, and it's called professional because it's for nail technicians or enthusiasts who are already familiar with the basics. You already know how to do gel overlay, you already know how to do traditional wet manicure, or you just have no interest in it, while beginner package includes more classes. They both include Electric File Manicure and eFile 101, while beginner package also includes Manicure 101, which is class for beginners. It includes gel manicure class, how to get started marathon, nail pictures for Instagram, and it gives you access for 1 year. While the professional package has access 6 months, but it includes less classes. And they both will give you continuing education units. If you're in the US, it may be valuable for you. So they both include Electric File Manicure, eFile 101. They also include a nail drill bits mini book. This is an ebook, so you will need to whether use it electronically or you can print it just like me. It includes all the basic information about the bits, how to take care of them, how to disinfect them. You will also have a live orientation class with me. We already have it at the beginning of each class, where I will introduce you to our school, explain how it works, how to take classes, and so on. You will have live teacher-graded assignments, certificate of completion for each class, not just one, and lifetime access to international students chat. I know that we have some students of ours today here on the webinar, and I know that some of you guys are already there. So why dry manicure? I'm not saying that other kinds of manicure, such as traditional wet manicure, is bad. No, definitely not. That's just another kind. But for me personally, dry manicure works better just because most of my clients, most of the nails I'm working with, I'm doing extensions. And to me, it's just faster and easier to prep nails for extensions when you're doing it dry. Because cuticle softeners, they contain oils or fruit acids. And once you apply them, you have to clean the skin, everything underneath, all the grooves really well. If you do not do it or just do not notice it, that the product will not adhere very well. So that's just the reason I chose for me. So let's do the dry manicure demo. Is it possible to clean diamond bits without sterilizer? Caroline, if you refer to clean as to just take care, let's say they're clogged with the product or skin, then yeah, you can do it manually with the disinfectant, and there's a special metallic brush that you may use to clean it. But if you're talking about killing all the bacteria and spores, then no, you will need a sterilizer. My husband has very sensitive cuticle area, and I have to be extremely gentle when I'm doing his cuticle work. I think he is one of the most critical, strict clients I have. I do my practice on him. Beverly, thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's super awesome when your family is supporting you and you can use them as the models. And especially if if he's telling you right away, oh, it hurts, oh, now it doesn't. Because some people are just too shy to tell you. Some people, I was surprised when I learned that, are not that sensitive to pain. Like seriously, I had this model once I was working with, and I see that her skin is already red, and I'm asking her if it hurts. She's like, no, I'm fine. So, I mean, she just felt it differently. So when somebody can tell you how it feels, it's pretty good because you do not know it, right? You only can tell when you're working on yourself. So as soon as you will understand what hurts and what doesn't, you will have what I call like a natural sense of how it feels to the client. Like seriously, when I'm teaching a live class and students are working on their models, I'm just walking between the rows and I can already see that this is about to get painful for the model. And then I'm asking a model, does it hurt? She's like, yes. So I just know, due to the angle she's working on, to the pressure, to the speed, I mean, I can see it. But it's from my experience because I did it a lot. So the more you do it, the more you practice on yourself, do different kinds of exercise, the better you will understand it. All right, let's go to the demo. Hello Anastasia, thank you for this class. When you're using a cuticle pusher instead of orange wood stick, how do you know if you're pushing cuticle or scraping the nail bed? Well, you will see it. You will see the actual scratches on your nail bed. Well, today I'm going to use an orange wood stick on myself. Now let's remember the shower gel exercise. And using that knowledge, you see, I'm using the side of the, I'm not doing this. If you're going to do this, it's not going to end well. And now we see the cuticle, and then we see the aponicum. So the goal is simply to separate the part that's sticking and spreading across the nail plate a little bit, and that's it, okay? Our goal is not to go halfway, like deep down there, of course not. You see, just simply like this, that's enough. That's all we need, like seriously. Sometimes some people have an eponychium that will go all the way up here. If it's like that, then you do the same, but not do it with one stroke. Just carefully, little by little, first, second time, third time, until you push it back, and then it might be, a big flap of the skin right here, which we're going to work on later. Okay, so this is the first step. I recommend you to do this even if you're using e-file. Can we do this without pushing back with orange wood stick or a pusher? Can I just use e-file and go right away? Yes, but you have to be like super professional for that. Like seriously, I do it very rare. Like some people have eponychium that is already kind of looks like this, like it's already not sticking to the nail plate. That may be the only time when it's okay to use it like that. But it's just easier and safer, because if you can do technically the same with the e-file, but by doing that, we will still do more friction and there's just more chance to overfile the nail plate. Okay, once again, I'm not saying it's not possible, it definitely is. But if you're getting started, I would not recommend doing this. All right, and we are going to use a flame bit with red abrasive mark. And sharing, I always ask clients, how do you feel? Please let me know your feeling. Exactly, yeah, that's what I also do to my clients, to my models. I just tell them, if it hurts or feels uncomfortable, just please shout, okay? Do not be shy. All right, so the speed I'm about to use, I think, will be 12,000 rotations per minute. And I will be using forward mode. Okay, so I will just show it without it on first. I will go from here all the way to the corner and down the sidewall. Okay, so I want you to take a look at the cuticle that we have here now. Luckily, it is visible. Oh my God, gosh, I was keeping this nail, not touching, not pushing it back for like for a long time, specifically for this webinar. Let me, hold on, I just need to grab something so I will have the something to clean the dust with. Okay, I'm back. All right, so this is what we are about to do. 12,000 rotations per minute, forward mode. Okay, I'm not pressing on, well, probably the sound is not as good, so you can actually feel the pressure I'm applying, but there's also almost no pressure. It's like very light. It is okay to apply a little pressure on the skin, like right here, okay, but not to the nail plate. So at this point, it's already hard to tell what kind of dust it is. Where does this residue come from? Is it cuticle? Is it part of the sidewall? Is it part of the nail plate? It's impossible to tell once it's already a dust, because all the dust looks kind of similar. That's why you need to understand it as you're working. So you see, I already have cuticle left only here in the right corner, and almost no cuticle left on the left corner. So I just go a little bit under the eponychium to clean this part. Okay, not too much. And with the same bit, I can also go push back the sidewall and clean it like this. I, as you probably noticed, do not have that much skin, so that will be enough. But for most people, you can do the same, but use a different bit instead. You can take the flame with a blue abrasive mark, or you can take a bigger size bit. I'm going to switch to the reverse mode and do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. The speed is still the same, 12,000 rotations per minute. It's important to push back the sidewalls when you're working. And I can do the same thing right here to my sidewall. We have still a little bit cuticle right here. So you see, this method is really fast and convenient, and to me is just so fast, you know, and nice for prep before I'm doing extensions or overlay. I just really cannot imagine for now, maybe there will be something in the future, but for now I really cannot imagine more convenient way than this. Okay. Now, before you proceed to the next step, I just want you to show that if you're not planning on trimming the aponicum, that you can only do this and like do not proceed, okay? If you're okay with trimming it, like you're not breaking the law of the country you're living or something, then you may use an orange wood stick again or a pusher and just go like this back and forth to be sure that it's all clean. If you do this and it's like stuck somewhere, that means that it's not clean yet, and it's better to not proceed before you fix it. I've been told to use 5,000 to 7,000 rotations per minute. I'm confused. Sonia, well, there are different techniques, seriously, and I cannot really tell you right away if this was right or wrong. Maybe it was some specific nail type or skin type, but normally even it's too slow. Like 5, it's going to, let me show you. Okay, this is the reverse. So you see on 5 RPMs, it's rotating so slow, like you can, seriously, do not be afraid. This is a very soft bead, just try it on your skin. It's like not really doing anything. It will take you like, well, not just take you forever, it will not really bring any result. All right, so switching back to 12 or 11,000 RPMs, I'm still on the reverse mode, so I didn't change anything. Well, when you're doing this on yourself and on your thumb, that's not the most comfortable position to work with, but that's okay. And I just go from here, from the right side to the left, to the opposite. Wait a minute, how is it possible? I'm using the same rotation speed, but I just went in this direction and then I'm going in another direction, and it's still working. Well, here's the trick. I was holding it differently, right? Here I was working like this, and then I turn it up, so it's still rotating in that direction. Reverse means counterclockwise. So I push up the aponicum, the tissue we're about to trim, up. And you see this super thin white line is what, in my opinion, is okay to trim. Now, once you push it up and you notice that it's still not fully clean underneath it, then you may slightly repeat this step. But keep in mind, no part of dry manicure or any manicure or any nail service should not be painful. If you feel pain, you're doing something wrong, whether you're pressing too much, whether the speed is too fast or usually too slow. Okay, well, looks so much better. So you see, we can already see this pink part underneath. That's what we are going to have at the end. Then we have this white line of the tissue we're about to trim. And then we have, again, our pink or beige, I don't know what's my shade of my skin, but that's what we're going to have afterwards. If you do not see it like that, if you see the nail plate and then there's white tissue all the way on the top, you will not be able to trim it safely. It will be super hard. And by trimming, it's all the same, whether you're about to use a drill bit or nippers or scissors. So let's use, I don't know, I have few types of, well, I personally do not work with nippers. I cannot really explain why. I don't know, I just don't like this tool. That's just a matter of personal preference. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not correct or something. It's just my personal thoughts. Okay, well, actually, if I do it with these scissors, it's gonna happen too fast. So You see the blades, they're just very long. I love working with this kind, but when I do it, there's going to be basically just 2 moves. So since I'm doing a tutorial and I want to explain a bit more to you guys, let's take another one. I have this one, the fancy one with the rhinestone, and these ones are my personal. I do not use them for anyone else. Okay, I really hope I'm not going to block everything for you guys. I'm going to try. Okay, so then we open the blades. When you're working with nippers, it's very much the same. And then we start going. Okay, do not rush. You can always do this. Just slightly push it up, and we are already halfway. So you see, I promised you there's going to be a clean, healthy skin down there, and it is there. And then we have this white part that we just trimmed. So ideally this line should be super straight. Sometimes it's not possible when the cuticle is, when the aponicum is already not was not perfectly trimmed before. If we have some hangnails, you know, there are many reasons for that. So the reason I'm working slowly now is that you guys can see every single step. In real life, it happens way faster. And then we can take a look again. And if you notice some imperfections, and once again, I will repeat it, you have a sharp tool, then you can repeat it. And ta-da! That's it. The next step is optional, but I will show you it as well, is what I call buffing the cuticle. Like I said, I don't really think I personally need it, but if we do it, it's not going to look worse. Okay, then when you're doing something, buffing, whether the nails, the cuticles, do not use a very high speed. About 14, I think, will be enough. Well, we'll see. This bead is also great for sidewalls, but only if there's not too much excess skin. If there's too much, then it's better to use a diamond or a sand band. And then I just slightly go all around the skin. So this bead will be great for like super small, almost invisible hangnails, but it's not going to remove some serious big hangnails, okay? So do not expect too much from this bead, okay? It's just really soft, and it's going to fix a very small problems and imperfections. You want to trim the cuticles until or after filing extensions. Felicia, I actually like your question very much, and I even switched myself to reply to it. It doesn't matter. It varies. I personally do it both ways. Let's say if I see that a client has very thin and sensitive skin, it's kind of irritated, and I know it may even hurt if I press too much, I will definitely push up the cuticles and the aponicum. Then I will do the product application and the filing, and then only before applying the color, I'm going to trim the skin. But if the skin is okay, if it's dry, not that many problems, just a regular skin, like I do it on myself, I will do all of it right away, you know, trim the cuticles, trim the aponicum, clean it all, and then I'm going to start doing extensions. So it varies. But for beginner, the first way it will be probably a bit easier. Now let's do the apply some gel on it, because we have some more things in our program, guys. I hope you have not forget that we actually have also I will share a couple more tips with you. I will share more information about the packages that we have and how you can take part in our online classes. Also, we will have a giveaway, so you'll have a chance to win one of our classes. So if you're watching from YouTube only at this moment, you still have time to log in through nailsproacademy.com. You can find this link in the description box, and that way you can take part in a giveaway, because we will be picking comments only from the section on our website, all right? And then we'll have a Q&A session, and I will reply to your questions, because I just noticed that as I go further with the topic, the questions are different. So I'm pretty sure that some things I'm already covering that you were about to ask. Now let's get back to our tutorial. And I'm just going to apply color, okay? We're not going to do anything extreme today or too complicated, because that will be obviously an information overload for you guys. But I just wanted to show you how easy it is to apply the color once you did dry manicure. Can you also use a ball bead instead of scissors? Yes. The prep will be very simple, nothing unusual here. Dehydrator. If you've been watching my YouTube tutorials, you definitely already know it by heart, what we should do next. Let me check if you do. What do we apply after dehydrator? Well, I'm doing gel overlay, and oh my God, this, I hit it like basically 20 minutes before the webinar as I was moving my bags, so. Well, luckily it's not a crack yet, but it may turn into one. Next will be non-acid primer, and if you're wondering which one I use, this is the one, Pro Bond by Gelish Bond Primer. Yes, guys, correct. If I would do extensions, I will apply it on the entire nail. If overlay, then I think it's enough to apply it only on the free edge, because near the cuticle, the adhesion is already pretty good. As I was talking, I applied obviously too much of nail primer, and if it happens, no worries, just take a lint-free wipe and carefully clean the excess. Much better now. Okay. The base I'm going to use is one of my favorite. It's Gel Base Cuba Gelfinity. First coat is always super thin, because this coat is for adhesion. I'm sorry guys if you can hear this vibrating sound. It's just I use my phone to control the cameras to switch, and I just didn't know how to turn off notifications, and obviously they're coming from you as you're posting more comments. Well, I didn't do the shaping because I already did that before we started our tutorial, and I also took off the surface shine because I just took off the product before the webinar. Okay, I did all that just so we will have more time for all the things we wanted to talk about, manicure and other stuff. Okay, and while I cure it, I have an additional 30 seconds to read your comments. And okay, that's me on the big screen. Doing my non-dominant thumb. Jalisa, good job, good luck, and we look forward to seeing it. You're the best teacher. Thank you so much, Kyla. What are your thoughts on scrubbing in the base coat? Omnia, my thoughts are very positive, because whoever invented this technique and said you're supposed to scrub the base coat in was genius, because once you scrub, the coat is going to be thin anyways, and that's exactly what kind of coat we expect from the base coat. So yes, absolutely you can use it. So can we use just a regular base coat for gel overlay, like a base that is not meant for overlay? You can use gel polish or soak off base coat for hard gel overlay, yes, or extensions. Okay, so this was the thin coat, the first coat. Sorry, I forgot that I'm in control of the camera. So you see, I'm still learning today. Okay, well, next step is also optional, but as I just hit my nail, then I have some imperfections here. As you can see, it's not like super smooth. But luckily, we can change it by using products. So I'm going to apply a thin layer of the base coat again. But this time, I'm not going to cure it. Sorry if I block it a little bit. I'm just doing my best to give you guys the best views and the information, and also to, you know, get like a decent overlay. And then I'm going to take a little bit more. Now I will be explaining everything a bit quicker because, you know, the gel is going to move and I obviously cannot freeze it. So I will have to get back to the lamp pretty soon. So I just take a slightly bigger drop, place it right here, go all the way down. Now with some base coats, this may cause heat spikes, so be careful with that. Do not apply too much. However, with clients with very thin or damaged nails, it's pretty much going to happen anyway, so you may want to apply second coat or use a hard gel because they usually have less heat spikes. Now the surface is so much better. If it took you too long, you can also do this. Just turn your hand around and let the gravity help you a little bit. Let me quickly check if it's okay. Perfect. And cure. And as I'm curing, I return to the big camera. Oh my goodness. Yes, I return to it. I noticed Europe has a lot more nail schools for nails. Okay, I guess that was some part of the previous discussion I didn't notice. Let me see what's going on here. This webinar is awesome, learning so much. Thank you. You're very welcome, Sarah, and thank you guys all for your kind comments. Sometimes during the webinar, I'm just not able to read all of your comments because I'm super excited to see that, but oh my God, we have 500 people online. I'm touched. I'm sorry. Okay. So that's why I'm just physically may not be able to read them all now. But once we will be done, they're all recorded. I always just lay down or sit down and read them. So just be sure I'm going to read all your warm comments or questions. And we're back. Okay, which camera was that? Oh my God. By the end of the webinar, I will be going to the right one. Well, I acted like a very bad client and touched it a little bit, but that's fine because you see, I touched it when the nail was already cured. So it was the sticky layer that moved a little bit, which is fine. So one of the tips, if you're experiencing the color is flooding the sidewalls or the cuticle area, is to take off the sticky layer. And yes, it's okay. No, it's not going to prevent you from a good adhesion because sticky layer is not what actually sticking two surfaces together. It's the product. Do you remove surface shine before doing in with e-file beads? Just, thank you for this question, and I'm sorry guys, I didn't mention it. Yes, well, I just took off my product and the nail of the surface shine before the webinar, that's why I skipped this step. But normally, you can it's better to do it once you do the prep with the e-file, then you take off the surface shine. But be careful, okay? Do not touch this sensitive area. All right, so let's do the color. All clients, girls, men, and cuticles are different. That's why in some we may apply color even deeper, while with some we cannot. That's why I recommend you to use this technique, especially if you're getting started. You can take a small drop of gel polish in a thin brush. We may not even need it, I don't know yet, but we'll see. Now let's take a gel polish, and seriously, there's no real big secret behind it. It's just that your cuticle work should be very, very clean in order to apply the color closer. Oh my God, I just noticed that my hands are shaking. How was I working all this time with them? So first coat, it's okay if it's a little thin or transparent, because usually with the second one, we're going to cover all that. I think I missed this spot. Uh-oh, and a little error right here. Well, that's why orange wood stick is such a great tool. It works also as a nail polish cleaner. So we can actually apply it much deeper. And here's the trick, which is perfect for beginners. I take a little amount on a thin brush. If you will, do I use this trick, or do I always use a brush from the bottle? It really depends on the nails and on the color. In real life, I usually use only brush from the bottle, but right now, as I'm showing this tutorial to you, I also cannot really lean too much, otherwise I will block the camera with my head. So this is actually an easier and safer way to do that. Do you see how close to the cuticle it is now? Now it looks like almost the color is growing all the way from the matrix, while we're still keeping our nails safe, because I believe that still should be our biggest priority. Make sure it's not flooded, it's not touching the skin, because once it does, it may lift. All right, it doesn't. Let's cure. What kind of gel do you use for that technique? My goodness. Okay. Currently, I used Rossi. That was my mistake for switching to that frame. This one is Rossi. This is the number of the color, if you're wondering, R4245, blue with a slight shimmer. I'm not sure. I believe it's a green screen for what I can see. If you look, yes, guys. Okay, that's the conversation you've been having. Well, yes, it is. You can, if you see my stories, you maybe notice that most of the times on the webinars I have this green color on the back of me. So yeah, that's what it is. Okay, switching back to camera number. Table view, and let's apply the second coat. It already looks kind of nice, right? Oh my goodness, we have nails coming up there. I need to see this. Pallavi just trimmed the cuticle. Okay, good job. I can see that you have some product on it, right? Did my nails last week was inspired by my dog. Sal is sharing. Oh, Dalmatian. You have a Dalmatian. Wow, pretty. Awesome, guys, and thank you so much for sharing. I'm definitely going to look at all of your pictures if I miss some right now, because I don't know, I just love seeing them. All right, second coat can be thicker if needed, but I think this color is already pretty pigmented that even if we apply 2 coats, it's still going to be fine, right? Wow, how pretty. I think I picked a nice color, don't you think? Honestly, when I was getting ready for this webinar, you know, I'm always very organized. I have like a list of things to take with me. And for some reason, color gel polish was not on my list. And as I was checking my bag today, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to do gel overlay. I need some color, so I basically grabbed like the ones that I knew that looks nice, because I didn't have a chance. Because if you give yourself an endless amount of time, it may take forever to pick the color, right? Do you agree? Well, actually, I have some clients that sometimes they spend almost the entire service, like the entire hour, just picking their color. And sometimes I'm like that too. Well, sometimes not. Alrighty, let's cure. Where do we share the pictures? Trisha, if you want to share the picture of your work, you need to go to nailsproacademy.com, and I recommend you guys to go there if you would like to take my classes, because this is where we have a button for the special offers. We just technically cannot add it to YouTube. We would have, but they do not have this kind of features. And also, the giveaway is coming soon. So also the only way to participate in it is to log in through nailsproacademy.com. The direct link is in the description box, and you still have some time to do it. Your English is perfect. Thank you so much. The nail polish bottle, that's really flattering to me because I'm still learning it. My classroom is decorated in Dalmatians. Cool. Really excited about this webinar Jennifer just shared. So I'm talking about some pictures that somebody shared, and you can see them if you're on Nails Pro Academy. All right, this is the picture by Jennifer Abarca. So good job. The only thing, like, you only pushed back the cuticles, right? Because if you also trimmed the aponicum, you need to push back the cuticles better. You can use an e-file, you can use a hand file, but you need to clean them a little better, because you see, we can still see these white lines. I will think, guys, I'm sorry that you can not all see it on the screen now. I will think of what we can do next time to like show this picture on the screen when I will be commenting them. And we have the last step to finish with, which is top coat. Well, with top coat, it's pretty simple. We just take it, we just apply it, and the nail is sealed. So you see the surface now is super smooth. Oh my goodness. I spilled some of the primer, and this is honestly one of the worst products to spill because it's super sticky. Luckily, it's not acid primer. If it would be acid, then I will be in a big trouble. But luckily, it's non-acid. Still not good on the skin. And if you guys ever had a question, like we usually have it on nail art courses, like, what if I'm clumsy? What if I'm always spilling things? Can I still do nails? Well, look at me. I do it all the time. Like I recently shared in my stories, I have some of my favorite clothes, and almost all of them have something spilled on them, whether it's a food or drink. So yes, if you're like that too, that's not an obstacle for you, trust me. Okay, now I cleaned it with a cleanse. Let's get back to work. Oh my goodness, still sticky. The top coat I have with me today will be this one. Let's use this one by Mystique. I spilled primer everywhere last night. It's horrendous to get off the skin. Oh my God, Trisha, yeah, I'm sorry. And I feel your pain. Honestly, when I do this, I was upset not only because it's sticky, but also because, oh man, like I just wasted pretty expensive primer. That's like another issue. So with the top coat, it's way simpler than base coat or the color. You just apply it, make sure you're not touching the skin. By the way, if you are interested in learning gel overlay, then we have a separate short class called Gel Manicure, which is included in today's beginner's package. Then it's optional. We can just leave it. Yeah, let's just leave it. Okay, I think it's already pretty. There's always a way for room to improvement. Like we can always improve something, but we have to stop at some point. You know, like when we're doing the filing, the shaping nails in my class, sometimes I just say, girls, we just need to stop at some point, okay? Because we can endlessly perfect and shape the nails and buff them until they're perfect, but you know, just your client will have to go home at some point. Can we charge more for dry manicure? Well, my clients, I do not have a single client who only do dry manicure and nothing else. They always do dry manicure and gel overlay, or they do dry manicure plus extensions. That's why it is included already in my price. So it's up to you whether you want to charge for it separately or together with the service, but should you charge more than you would for gel overlay only? Absolutely. And we are ready here. Ta-da! Beautiful finished nail. And we have some more things to catch up with. We're done with the demo, we're done with gel overlay demo. And the most important question of today's webinar, is Russian manicure dangerous? Like any technology, it is dangerous. If the technique is incorrect, tools and beads are not suitable for dry manicure, such as the ones I showed you previously, or just using the, let's say, the green abrasive mark, or if it's used with extreme pressure on the nail plate. Well, there can be more reasons, but all of them are the idea of if you're doing something wrong. It's kind of the same. Is doing nail extensions dangerous? Is it harmful for nail plate? Well, generally it's not. But if you overfile the nail plate or damage it, then it may be. So it's up to you whether make it dangerous or make it something that actually is a great, safe, fast and convenient technique. So it is safe and fast if you're using correct beads, if you're adjusting the speed depending on the skin type, and if you do not apply too much pressure. If you will learn a proper technique and practice. Unfortunately, you cannot skip this part. Like, it doesn't matter how much you learn and watch YouTube videos and get inspired, and I'm super thankful for that. But if you do not take it into practice and do it with your own hands, you will not be able to do the same. But once you do, you can do anything, just trust me. So how to learn dry manicure? There are always two options. It can be a self-taught, which is trial and error, trial and error. This is an option, even though I personally always choose a way of using someone's help. It's still a way, but it's definitely going to take you longer and will take you more trials and errors. Or you can use guidance of a certified educator, which is taking an online course, which is definitely faster just because you will already have the tutorial of a proper technique. You will get specifically your mistakes analyzed, and you will understand what you're doing wrong, how you can fix it, how you can improve it. So I would like to introduce an e-file manicure 101, it's just getting too late. E-file manicure online class. It's not new class. I mean, it's been there for a few years. We already have some people who already took this class, but this year we updated it. So there are new lessons. And what exactly is new? Well, I included step-by-step process recorded with HD lens, better quality of the video. So this is the screenshot of the video, so you can have an idea of how the how the video will look like. So we just recorded it closer so you can see all the details of the tutorial. And when we were recording these lessons, I was working with a special camera assistant that was actually making sure that we're always in the frame, that you can see all the angles. Because when I record myself, it's slightly different. I added Russian manicure tutorial with scissors, and in total we have new 6 lessons right there. I think results and pictures speak louder than words, so it's probably better just to show you our students' work. So these are some works that students are doing on this class when they're graduating or during the class. So this is the first one is before and after. This is the nails that a client had before, and this is what we have at the end. Like I said, none of these works are by me or by our educators, students only. Can you believe that this one is also a work by a student? Well, super cool, right? Beautiful design, beautiful, flawless cuticle work. And this is how these nails look like after 3.5 weeks. So you'll just have an idea. So if dry manicure is done correctly and not too deep, it will also look great after some time. It's personal, it also depends on the nails. With some nails, it's still going to look not super tidy, even after 2 weeks. But if you do not trim too much, it's still going to look nice. Another work by our students. And one more. Ooh, I really like this close-up. We have matte nails, we have glossy nails, and this is one of many. If you wish to take a look at more, we all have it on our website. I totally want to take this. Thank you. So these are some testimonials, reviews. We're not going to read them all, but you can always find them on our page of the description of the course, because our students always leave the feedback, and sometimes you can even, I believe, yeah, see it in this one, they notice some things they would like to improve. We actually have a separate question, like, is there something you didn't like and what you would like to improve? Because, yeah, it's nice to hear all the nice comments like, thank you so much, you're great. But once you sincerely also share what you think can be better, that's like work for us, and that's why we always update our courses to add the latest technique and maybe to improve something that was not perfect. So how does online education at Nails Pro Academy work? Because I noticed that some of you are not familiar with our school yet. So this is not the same thing as we have now. It's not the webinar, it's not live. These are pre-recorded high-quality videos recorded in HD, and you can watch them just like you watch any recorded videos. You just hit play, you can fast forward, you can make them slower if you wish, you can pause them and watch as many times as you want. Obviously, you can learn anywhere, at home, at work, during your commute, using any device. But the most important part and the valuable part is that you will get a feedback from a live teacher. And I believe this is why our courses are so good and why the results of our students are so amazing. Because when you're on your own, exploring things, trying, practicing, that's nice. I mean, if you're learning, you're already awesome. Because once you learn, you create this, you're growing as a professional, you get motivated, you learn new things, and there are actually studies that even prove that once you learn something, it's really good for your brain. Like your brain will not get old too fast. So when you have a guided teacher feedback, you will just understand faster what was exactly your mistake, how you can fix it, or if it's all good, then your assignment will be accepted and you just move on. At the end, you are going to pass the exam, and if it's all good, you will receive a certificate. This is how the certificate looks like for electric file manicure class. So we have two packages today. Professional package, which includes 2 classes only, electric file manicure and e-file 101. And the beginner package includes the same 2 classes, e-file manicure, e-file 101, but also you will have manicure 101, which is a class for beginners. It includes traditional manicure, filing and shaping, how to do the natural nail shape, spa manicure, wax treatment, paraffin treatment. Then we have gel manicure, which is the gel overlay. Then you have how to get started recording of our online marathon, nail pictures for Instagram online lesson, and you will have an access for entire year, and 75 continuing education units. For the professional package, you will get access for 6 months and 55 CEU units. So I would say, let these words professional and beginner not confuse you. It's really about what you would like to learn. If you want to focus only on e-file at the moment and to master your work with the e-file and e-file manicure, then professional package is for you. But if you're have never done even traditional manicure, if you've never applied nail polish on someone, then the beginner package is definitely better for you because it includes all these basics, nail diseases, how to work with clients, and so on. You will also get this how to get started marathon and other cool features, because both packages include these two classes, nail drill bits mini guide, so you will get it with both packages. This is a mini ebook with information about the bits. You will have live orientation class with me. It will be like the webinar, but only for the students who are participating in the class. I will guide you through our school, through our class, how it works, and if you're not able to attend, you will be able to watch a replay for as long as your course is available. You will have teacher-graded assignments, certificate of completion for each class. So if you choose the Pro package, you will get certificate for electric file manicure and e-file 101. For beginners package, I believe there are 4 diploma certificates at least. And the lifetime access for international students chat. So these are the deals. Pro package is e-file manicure and e-file 101. And beginner package includes the same, but also manicure 101, gel manicure, how to get started, nail pictures for Instagram. Ebook, Nail Drill Bits mini book is included with both packages. This is the example of what it includes, how to store drill bits, how to clean them, how to sterilize them, and many, many more. All right, so there was the question, I believe, that I missed. This is, I think this is the most informative webinar I've ever been on. Thank you. Kelly Girl living in Nevada. I really like your nickname, because you know, it's just you just understand whom you're talking to like right away. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Strawberries is asking, is this in USD? Yes, these are US dollars. What's an onychoblast? Onychoblasts are the nail cells, cells that create our nail plate. Dakota Wilson, Nailco, will the courses have captions? I'm sorry, Dakota, at this point we do not have them. They're all in English by me, like you can hear me now, like if you understand me, so that's the same what you will have on the class. Unfortunately, we do not have this feature at the moment, but we will think of adding it. Thank you, yeah, for asking. How to get clients when you're just starting out? Everyone I see already has a nail tech. Well, getting started is always hard, is always challenging. So today, in our world with limited possibilities due to the quarantine, I believe that one of the most effective ways is definitely social media. I would say Instagram works the best, but it also depends on the place where you live. Maybe Facebook may be a good option for you, maybe TikTok. So you need to post your works on yourself, on your relatives, on your friends as much as you can, so people can see what you can do, and then they may want to come to you. Trust me, it's not that everyone has a nail tech. Like there's definitely room. You know, when I was starting 16 years ago, honestly, I thought like all clients are already taken. Someone is doing nails somewhere, right? But guess what? At some point, I basically had no room for new clients. So that's on you. Just try to provide the best service and maybe think of something not everybody offers in your area. For example, dry manicure. And once you do, you will have more people wanting to become your client. But that's going to take time. Is it international? If you're talking about the classes, itsy bitsy, yes, absolutely. You can take it in any part of the world. This feels like such a personalized course. It is amazing. Exactly, yeah. By the way, we're adding like new features almost like every 6 to 12 months. And yes, that's the coolest part, is the feedback from the teacher, because I'm a fan of learning. I learn new things every day. Like I'm doing sports, I'm learning Spanish now. Recently, I was taking this course on how the brain works, by the way, to provide a better education for you guys. Previously, during the lockdown, I was taking voice classes, you know, not the vocal, but the actual voice to like sound better. And every time I do it, I appreciate always all the work my teachers are putting into me, because they definitely have more experience. They already did all these typical mistakes, trials and errors, and I'm willing to pay some money for them so I will avoid this mistake, so I will go quicker. R.L. Cuddy is asking, question, my friend has aponicum which is separating from a nail plate, but if you try to cut it, their blood will appear. Is it normal? What do you do in the same situation? No, the blood is not normal. If it happens, then, well, you should disinfect the wound and do not do it. So trimming the excess skin, the excess tissue, will not cause bleeding only when it's a keratinized part of it, like I showed you today in the tutorial, when it's this whitish part. It has a different color. If you will try cutting the healthy skin, it depends on the skin and on the person. Some people will have blood right away, some don't, but even if they don't, it doesn't mean that we need to trim it as much as we can. Muy bien, love that you're multilingual. Thanks, Catherine. Well, I'm not that good at it yet, but hopefully one day I will be. Who knows? Maybe I will do my Spanish webinar. Felicia's asking, Anastasia, I'm in Manicure 101, gel manicure, e-file 101, e-file manicure. I just paid last week, haven't started. Can I please have this package price? Felicia, please contact our managers, because I cannot answer a question right away because I do not know all the details, but please get back to us so we can discuss it. I think that it is definitely possible. What if while pushing the cuticle is attached to the nail plate? Do I keep pushing it using orange wood stick? Belasha. That's why we did this shower gel exercise. Sometimes it is so sticky and it's and it's so attached to the nail plate so much that it seems impossible to push it back. So there's actually a technique that will allow you to still do it with the bit that you can use on top, but most of the times you still can push it. Just do not push too much. Use it little by little. Most of the times you still can push it so you can see this tiny pocket, and once you have it, just slowly. Do it with the side of the orange wood stick or a pusher, okay? Never try to poke it or anything, never rush. Just little by little. The more part of the side of the orange wood stick you use, the better. Another amazing webinar. Thank you so much for the price too. Oh, you're welcome, Camila. And I look forward to seeing you on these classes. And by the way, I can see that. Oh, awesome. Okay, we have new people joining the classes. Thank you so much for that. And I look forward to see you on this orientation class, because even though our classes are pre-recorded, so we will not meet actually live, but there is one day where we do meet, is the orientation class. And also you will get access to the international students chat, and it works, well, it's a chat, so it's basically 24/7, and you can interact with people there at any time. Can you answer the Petra R's question about why you wipe the sticky layer before applying gel color? Yeah, well, exactly. I bumped my nail in the light. I was acting like a client today, not like a nail tech. But another reason is that sticky layer is not providing a better adhesion. Sticky layer is just 1% of non-polymerized oligomers. They're not going to make your color adhere better to the base coat. It will adhere to it anyways. Well, as long as you didn't touch it with your bare hands and put some oils or dirt on it. It's also a great way to apply the color if you have troubles flooding it. Because you see, sometimes you may notice it, let me guys know if you did, when you apply base coat, some base coats has a very slippery sticky layer, like there's a lots of it. So while some has just a little bit of sticky layer. So when there's a lot, it may be a challenge when you apply the color. You apply the color, it starts running back and forth, it starts flooding the cuticles. If it does, you can just take a lint-free wipe, you just take a cleanse, wipe it off and apply the color. How do you do the dry manicure on very ridged nails? Well, it's the same technique, just with the ridges there's a challenge that because of this surface with dips and ridges, you may unintentionally overfile the nail plate. That's why you should never put any pressure into the nail plate. You should work mostly on the skin. But overall, the technique is pretty much the same. Do you have to use a dehydrator, or does a gel cleanser do the work as well? In school, we sometimes just use the cleanser and no dehydrator, Katerina is asking. Well, it depends on the ingredient list, because there are actually products that are called 3-in-1, like there's Scrub Fresh by Creative Nail Design, there's Nail Plus by NSI, and many, many others in different brands. And this product is 3-in-1, so it's sanitizer, cleanser, and dehydrator, and you can use it for any purpose. But some products, like this one, pH Bond by Gelish, is only dehydrator. Okay, so if you use the 2-in-1 or 3-in-1, then yeah, it can be the same product. If not, I cannot tell you right away. You need to read the ingredient list, but if it's designed to be a dehydrator, it's better to use it only for the dehydrator. I love following overseas texts. I learned so much. Gangaline graphs. Thank you so much. Kind of constructive criticism is always a good thing. Oh, absolutely. That's what we learn from. I've seen some nail techs making a hole in the nail with their e-files. Does it heat up the nail? RuPaul. Oh, if you're talking about the design, most of the times, usually the hole is made for piercing, right? And it's made on the free edge right here. And heating, like it heats up if you're doing it in the nail bed area. When it's on the free edge, where you have acrylic or gel only, you will not feel any heat. Yeah, so do not worry about it. Belisha, what do we use to remove excess product on skin? If cleanser, do you have any suggested brand? Well, really, cleanser is such a simple product that I personally almost never tried the bad ones. I mean, they're all pretty much good. Well, I have the ones by Gelish. It's called cleanser. I have nailcpr Plus by NSI. We have many local Russian brands. So I believe pretty much of them will be good. How do you get really deep, clean cuticles? It feels like my nails look the same after dry manicure. Mia, not all nails and skin types and nail types, you cannot do deep manicure with all of them. Sometimes the matrix is so close that it's actually dangerous to try doing that. Some clients and some people have very deep pockets for that, and yes, with them it's possible. I had this client one day and actually posted a YouTube video with her. There were some comments like, oh my god, I really thought that this is the plastic hand because her cuticles, her pockets are like super deep, but this was an actual live person and it didn't even hurt or anything. It's just how her nails are naturally. But some people have a different anatomy, and with them, once you try to go a little deeper, it's going to hurt, it's going to bleed, and it's going to be bad. So unfortunately, we cannot make them deeper if they're not. If they are deep naturally, then you just start pushing them back and you will already see like your orangewood stick is basically like falling down there. But still, I recommend you still not go too deep, even if it seems possible. Ivy, when I applying the gel is moving, especially on this side. What is the reason? Because of the gel product, or the cleaning is not good? Well, some gels are very runny, and if you apply, it goes to the side. It's just because it's runny, and once you put it in the lamp, it heats up. So maybe you can try a thicker consistency gel. maybe you want to do this and then quickly go into the lamp. Maybe you're just applying too much at once. Try thinner layers. Did you use the base gel as the builder for the gel overlay? Yes, exactly. Katie, you can do it as long as you're not building too much. You probably noticed that even though the drop I added seemed kind of big, I have a big hands, by the way. I'm wearing L-size gloves. I know it may look different from the camera, but that's what it is. I mean, my hands compared to any kind of objects, obviously you can see they're pretty large. So for my thumb, I didn't really put much. So as you can see, it's not like super thick now. So for this slight building, yes, you can use base gel. If you want to like create a big structure, then yeah, it's better to use an actual builder gel, of course. What should I do if I cut my client, Catherine? Don't panic. First of all, if the blood is right there, you can use hand sanitizer first, but then you need to use, by the way, we have a separate lesson in e-file manicure class that's exactly dedicated to this. Then you need to use any kind of hemostatic agent. It may be, sometimes it comes as a powder, sometimes it's a liquid. For example, this one I'm using, you know where you can get them? Well, you can try Amazon, of course. And also, they are for dentists. They're exactly the same. What you need to have is just a tiny amount of it on a special applicator. Like I use this ones, I believe this micro applicators, they're for eyelashes or something. So you just apply a tiny drop and it will stop the bleeding and it will create a seal right away. So I believe this is the best way, because by disinfecting and sanitize it, we will going to sanitize it, but it's not going to stop. What is your opinion on prepping with sandband? Very popular here in the US to prep with the sandband. Yeah, Dakota, I've seen it a lot in the schools that I was teaching. I also noticed that they do that. Well, I did an experiment, you know. Of course I have my thoughts and opinions, but once again, you guys need to keep in mind, I'm just a nail tech, just like you. I'm not a scientist. I do not have access to some special research or equipment, unfortunately. So most things that I know, I just come from my experience. So I set an experiment. I was prepping the nail with the file and with the e-file. I did it on myself and on a couple of my trusted models. I did one hand this way, I did another hand another way. The results were pretty much similar, so I would not say that one worked or the other one doesn't. I didn't really feel any difference. I cannot say that this one was lifting, this one was not. But what I noticed is the condition of the nails. With the sandband, even if you work at a low speed, you will still inevitably take off more layers. Do you know why? Even if you set the speed, I actually explained it at one of my webinars too. Like on my e-file, the one that I use, I can set the speed to 500 rotations per minute, not 1,000, 100. But most e-files do not have that. So the lowest speed you can turn on is 1,000 rotations per minute. And even if you turn it like this, we were actually counting. Do you understand what's 1,000 rotations per minute? Well, obviously we're not holding the bit like this for an entire minute. What we do something like this, which is 1, 2, 3, well, 3 to 4 seconds. And well, I'm not sure I can count this number in my head, but there is still too much. So that means the sandband touches the surface of the nail plate like few hundred times. So it's taken off still too many layers, which is not that big of a problem for people with thick nails. But if a person has already thin and damaged nails, it will not be very good for the condition of their nails. So that's my opinion. That's why I don't use it. But in order to how it works and what's the result, I didn't really notice much difference. And also, if you are getting started for beginners, I strongly recommend to learn how to do the prep with a hand file first. Thank you so much for this helpful webinar. You guys are so welcome, and I'm ready for a couple last questions because we've been together online for 2.5 hours. That's crazy, and thank you so much for being with me. I cannot believe we still have 300 people here because I mean, seriously, I just could never imagine this when I started teaching. I remember when I started my YouTube channel. I remember, like, you know, when I had like 5 subscribers. So I'm like really grateful, and thank you so much for it. All right, last 2 questions. Pallavi, can you do a rubber base to build on natural nails? Yes. I personally do not like rubber bases too much because over time they tend to have less, like they're very flexible. So over time the surface doesn't look as perfect anymore, especially on long nails. That's why I'm not a big fan of it. But yes, you can. On short nails, it doesn't matter. Absolutely go for it. Mia, should you do a slip layer to avoid flooding the cuticles, or maybe a more dry brush? I can't seem to get close to the cuticles without flooding. Yes, dry brush technique is another way to get closer to the cuticles. You can whether take off this sticky, okay, some people may have no idea what we are talking about. First you apply the base coat, then you cure it. Then we have a sticky layer. And there are 2 options to have a better color application. You can take off the sticky layer and apply the color, or you may use a dry gel brush and just, you know, kind of imagine you're applying something. So with the dry brush, this sticky layer will be all solid, because after curing, a sticky layer, if you look through the microscope, you will see that it looks like a small dots, you know, like like a rain on the window of the car. But once you do this, you like flatten it with a brush, it will become all solid, so it will be easier to apply the color. So it's whether taking off the sticky layer completely or doing this dry brush technique. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining this webinar. Thank you so much for joining the classes. I can already see we have new students coming. I am very glad it was helpful and you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your questions. I look forward to all your tags of whether it's a shower exercise or something else, or just your thoughts in general on if you enjoyed the webinar and what did you learn. I look forward to seeing you in my classes and my new webinars, new videos. I'm wishing you a great day if it's only the beginning of your day, and if you're in Europe time zone just like me, wishing you a great evening and a great week. Thank you so much, and remember, never stop learning. I'm Anastasia Milton. Goodbye.